How you doing? I'm Kenny Gioia. Welcome to another one of my tutorials. In this tutorial, I want to show you how to record multi-track drums, or multi-track any instrument, in Reaper. Now, one of the biggest complaints I hear from Pro Tools users looking to switch to Reaper is that in Reaper, there's no playlists. We have takes, so you can record multiple takes and switch between them, but they're not actual playlists. And where this is a problem is when doing multi-track recording, like drums. Because in Reaper, there's no edit grouping. So after you record your drums, you can't switch between playlists or takes with group tracks. It doesn't really work. Let me show you. We have some tracks in front of us here. Kick, snare, snare bottom, toms, overheads, and rooms. Let's record some drums. So that's one take. If we go to Options, under New Recording that overlaps existing media items, I chose Splits Existing Items and Creates New Takes, which is the default. So if we record again, it's not going to go on top of this and replace it. It's going to create a new take. And also under Options, I turned on Show All Takes and Lanes to make it easier to see. So let's record a second take of our drums. Now in Pro Tools, you'd make a new playlist to do this. In Reaper, we don't have to. So now we have two takes of the drums. Let's do it one more time. And now we have three. Now to hear them, we'd simply click them, take one, take two, and take three. But notice, this just happened on the kick track. It didn't happen on the other tracks as well. So if I want to hit take two on all the tracks, I have to hit this, 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 and this. So you can see it's quite awkward and very easy to confuse. We want all the takes to stay in line with each other. And this is how it works in Pro Tools. You group the tracks using edit grouping, and then you just switch the playlists. And then each playlist or take matches up with each other. So you can't accidentally grab the wrong snare track for a different performance. But this is thinking backwards. Because in Reaper, unlike Pro Tools, we can have as many audio channels on a track as we want. It's not just mono, stereo, or surround. So an easier way to do this is to create one track for all the drums. So let's undo all this. And instead, let's create a drum track. Take this out of record. Let's make a new track. Let's put it on top. And we'll name this drums. Give it a color. Something like that's fine. Now let's check out our inputs and our preferences. Under audio, right down here, input channel name for channel mapping. We can click this, and these are the inputs on our interface. I skipped 1 and 2. I plugged the kick mic into 3, snare into 4, then the toms, the overheads, and the rooms. Then the snare bottom mic. Now if you notice, I put the snare bottom mic at the end, just to make it easier for stereo grouping, to keep the toms together, the overheads and rooms on their stereo pairs. Now 12 has nothing in it, but we're going to need that, because in Reaper, you have to record multi-channel tracks with an even amount of inputs. It can't be 9 inputs. So what we're going to do is we're going to use 10, from 3 to 12. So this extra one is going to be part of the recording. We're not going to actually use it, and it's kind of wasted, but it's worth it. So these are our inputs. So our drum track, we're going to open the routing or the I/O. And for track channels, instead of 2, we're going to change it to 10. So now this track has 10 inputs. And we could set the input right here, input 10 channel, and we could choose from 1 to 10, 2 to 11, or 3 to 12, which is from kick to nothing. Right here, from kick to nothing. Those are the 10 inputs we're choosing. 10 channels from kick to nothing. So now this track, to make it a bit bigger, can record 10 inputs at the same time. Let's see what it sounds like. It looks okay. We have our kick, our snare, the toms, the overheads, the rooms, and our snare bottom, and down here is nothing. But it sounds a little weird, because the kick track is playing out of the left speaker, the snare track is playing out of the right speaker, and we're not even hearing the rest. So it's not very usable. We want to have 10 separate faders, or in this case 9 separate faders, to adjust our tracks, to add EQ and compression, and adjust their levels. And that's where Reaper comes in with its routing capabilities. We could send each one of these channels to a separate track, right here. So let's do that. Delete this, go to the I/O, turn off master parent send, so we don't hear the kick in the left and the snare in the right. And now we should hear nothing. Going to record. It still records it, but we're not actually hearing it. See the level here? Now we're going to send this audio down to these tracks over here, so we can manipulate them one track at a time. So we'll go to the I/O and create new sends. Again, this track won't be heard at the master parent send. It's only going to be heard through these tracks over here. Let's make a new send and send it to our kick track. Now we got to choose what's going. We don't want to send everything. Over here under audio, we're going to send a mono source and just audio channel 1, which is our kick. And we're going to send it to our kick, pre-fader and pre-effects, full volume, which you can double click. Now I have it set up when we create new sends to default to pre-effects and full volume. To make it quicker, that can be adjusted in our preferences over here. Track send defaults, send default mode, pre-effects, and the gain is going to be 0 dB, so it's full volume. So basically this fader here isn't going to do anything. The kick track we record is going to go directly to here, and it can be adjusted over here as well, which it already is, with effects and level adjustments and pans. It's all going to happen in this track, not this one. This is just for recording and editing takes. So we should hear just the kick. Right here. Even though all the drums are still going in. So let's create another send for our snare. Go to the snare track. It defaults to pre-effects and pre-fader, full volume. The channel is going to be mono, track 2, and we should have snare going to this track. And we do. Let's do the same for the rest. One for snare bottom. Now snare bottom is audio channel 9, right here. Let's do a tom. Audio channel 3. Floor. Audio channel 4. Now for the overheads, we could do them in stereo. Stereo 5 and 6. That's where they're plugged into. And the room's the same thing. They're stereo. Stereo 7 and 8. So we have 1, 2, 9, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Let's make sure it's happening. And it is. And it's perfect. Now the drums are being recorded here, but they're playing back through separate tracks. So we can adjust them how you normally do in any DAW. So you have full control if the drums are being recorded to one track, which if you think about it, makes a lot more sense. Why are you recording drums to 10 separate tracks or 9 separate tracks? So now let's record them as takes. Now this is a good time to switch. If we right click over here to track layout and change this track to big meter on the track panel, just for this track. So we can watch the meters over here. Check it out. It's a great way of checking out what we're recording and seeing it over here and over here. So now let's record some takes. Now let's record another one. And one more. Perfect. So now let's make this big enough so we can see it. We can switch this back to its default, like this. And now we can hear each take just by clicking it. Here's take 1. Take 2. Take 3. So now if we want to comp this or get one great performance out of many takes, they're all locked to each other. So I can separate it right here, and here, and here, and choose different takes for different parts of the song. So I can start on take 1, go to take 2, go to take 3, back to 2, then 1, and 2, and 3. And when we play this back, we're going to hear just the takes that are lighter colored. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now it's very easy to comp our drum tracks. And again, this will work really well with any multi-track instrument. Let's say you're doing a piano and you're doing 2 close mics, 2 distant mics, and 2 very distant mics. That's 6 tracks. Instead of making 6 separate tracks, you can make one track that has 6 inputs or 6 audio channels and still adjust their levels down over here. And when we're done choosing our takes, just click them all, right click, go to take, and choose crop to active take. Now we have one performance with all our keeper takes. Now check this out. Let's make everything smaller. You might think this is a bit confusing, having all these tracks for our drums, both for editing and for mixing. But there's a feature to make this much easier. Go to View and choose Track Manager. Here we can choose what tracks are visible in what window. Right now, we're seeing everything in the Track Control panel, or the TCP. If you think about it, these tracks over here, the individual tracks, don't need to be in the Track Control panel. So we can select them all and hide them. So now all we're seeing is that one drum track, which makes sense because this window is for editing. I want to go in and zoom a bit, move around, change our edits, drag it back to get different pieces from different takes. We don't really need those other tracks in this window. And the same thing is true for this track in the mix window. Let's open the mixer. So in our mixer, we see all the tracks. But in reality, this fader isn't really doing anything. All the levels for the drums are over here. So we could take this out of the mixer altogether. go to our drum track, take it out of MCP, and it's no longer here. It's only over here. So we can mix our drums in this window and edit them in this window on completely separate tracks, but it's all basically the same thing. Edit our drums here and mix them over here. So anyway, that's how you record multi-track instruments or multi-track drums in Reaper, especially when you're doing multiple takes. I'm Kenny Gioia for Kenny Mania. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.